Greetings and welcome back to Scribes and Men. I am your host, the Mad Poet, Sam, and we are on to volume 43 in this one, heading off towards, completing the volumes 41 to 50 rather. So let's just get into it. Thoughts running down my head, making everything go rather hazy, overthinking with what it's been fed. That would make a lesser man crazy. Created cages of our own making to obtain our freedom for the taking, and now having nowhere to go, we struggle to finally know. So many times we go and try, through each fall and question why, never letting ourselves to be done as we learn and continue through each dawn. Weary eyes longing for sleep, with no need to be counting sheep, when we're knocked out on the bed. Also our dreams could finally be fed. Allow me to vibrate to the music around, till I'm one with it no longer to be found, as my mind left to travel where it would go, along the path the musical notes would show. Howling winter winds, like a bite upon the skin, not many can bear. Winds gathering leaves, spiraling within a dance that brushes on skin like a lover's soft embrace trapped within an autumn's hearth. The time came when all should go to sleep, sleep in their peace. The skies lit up by tempest-raging storms on a barren land, as the day itself turned dark, as though it was the coming night. I wept as I felt the turmoil of emotions within me. Would you truly sit in the midnight hour among the graves where many cower, speaking the words for secrets to hide? For who would dare come listen inside? Yet you picked a side with your petty ga- Yet you picked a side with your pretty gatekeeping, crying no room for hate, but yours comes in creeping. The past still sings of truth you claim to know. Why use politics when you could play with a crow? All dressed in black, yet you're acting the fraud, while posing for praise so they would applaud. Now wondering why you've become the object of desire when you fan the flames and stoke the fire. You put on a mask, but your authenticity's missing. When it's the light you've been caught kissing. Yet what does it matter for the graves covered in mist when haunted by echoes that never desist? Targets to hit, to go and acquire, pieces to collect, to go a bit higher, into a place I never did see, and into that place I wished to be. We heard the echoes that came in haunting, like a forgotten reminder that is always taunting. And what is there for it to go gain than to see us all as we each go insane? In the books we read, always something to be taught, of things to be and things to be not, and all the words we learned and knowledge we gained, where, like riding a bike, it all becomes ingrained. The bed beckons all like a siren's call, for me to rest and for sleep to fall. Where the words fall short and the lines fumble, as you stand to immediately stumble. When your eyes begin to be weary, and you can no longer see clearly, bring yourself to a moment of rest, for that is what would truly be best. Oftentimes when the mind's a fog, like you're mired in a swamp in an eerie bog. Mired in a swamp and an eerie bog. So let me fix that. And an eerie bog. There we go. So oftentimes when the mind's a fog, like you're mired in a swamp in an eerie bog, when everything's a maze and you begin to sink, perhaps it's best to rest before you think. Days will come and months will go, and the time has passed before you know, within a place you do not wish to be, for there is more to life than what they see. I claimed crowns upon victims who couldn't hear the rage of their people drawing so near. Down with the king, they all seemed to cry, only to create a tyrant who would have them all die. A lack of energy, and I begin to tire. Is it a symptom or something more dire? Yet on I go as I try to claim parts of myself now never the same. The history of the world seems to repeat, caught in a cycle we can't seem to defeat. And although some people deny, there's still nothing new right under the sky. A desire to be free when trapped in a cage, a longing for a new chapter and a new page, so that we can finally soar, but even then we will be asking for more. Defiant towards the mundane within life. So it's all become a mess that causes us now to stress, wishing for it to go away, yet everyone has their bad day. When we vanish, would anyone know, with the works of your hands for them to then show, the burden of proof from what they will see, with questions to ask that now never will be? Cost of distractions that cause us to fall, to prevent our progress as we go and we stall. And when we break out, we begin to regret the passing time that makes us all fret. Forever, held in a moment, throughout time. We heard the waves that came on in, with sounds of sailors on boats therein, who traveled through from sea to sea, along the waves where they were free. Sound of trumpets from the air, for all to see, look and stare, surprised that it was a truth they told, of a second coming like shining gold. Forests shimmering with lights, of faded tales once told, watched through midsummer nights, with glowing eyes of auburn gold. Desires that came and flickered like smoke out from the edges where dragons now spoke. What need for a threat with a charming lie? For what is better when they're willing to die? Vibe of the sight of the city, oh isn't that a pity, to come so close and be so far, only to be hit with a car. Float on through the atmosphere within a mind in the clouds as they appear, like the daydreams we had as a child, no longer wild, but a little more mild. When they came, never the same, now rather tame, which was rather lame, but what could you do for someone turned blue? I haven't a clue, for they were no saint, despite their complaint, after falling in paint. All the things we could have done while playing under the sun, with our imagination at its height, when we would pretend to fight. All the words I've gone to say that haunt me at the end of day, of better things I could have said, from wit delayed being fed. Passing on the knowledge we know, for those of the future to learn and grow, though there are those who wish to destroy the knowledge we wish to deploy. Moments held never the same. What was the price of forgotten fame, when one once reached the top, only to eventually come to a stop? A blood-stained avalanche cares not for the trees or the branch, for all they come to engulf and consume, into the icy grave, entering into their doom. Do not cower, for it would be such a waste, should you go and paint a face in haste. All that creativity now gone undone, bleeding through the sweat from the summer sun. So many wishes left unsaid, as regrets run through our mind in bed. Of all the things we wish to do, yet we allow distractions to come on through. Stillness setting like nothing's written, twice shy, once bitten. And here I sit on a bench and stare as the people pass on by without care. Does a caged bird know how to fly, if cages were open and shone the sky? Or will they remain in the only place they know, as they refuse to fly or go? Ever so charming with a bewitching smile, ever so charming to all you go and beguile. Ever so charming even though you defile, ever so charming to those now dead in a pile. Ever so charming, a vampire dressed in style, ever so charming, no need to revile. Ever so charming, for they'll be here for a while, being ever so charming. Everything is falling to the sound of a silent scream, now startled awake from a fever dream, as reality begins to look a little eerie, but it remains just a paranoid theory. One look and I began right on falling, when love knocked and came calling, no desire to deny or resist, when it smiled and never needing to insist. There stands a person with a crooked smile, and that person in the mirror is you, fighting with hate in your denial, never willing to let go into something new. Time is given, but energy is lacking, now caught sleeping ever so slacking, before doom scrolling on the screen, in a state I'd rather not be seen. Riding like the rocks we climb, just one more we say again this time, now looking up from the mats below, questioning the work we have to show. Questioning the work we have to show. Is a guilt of my own when none will care, in a project started that only I would dare. Why should I worry over the things I do, in order to reach further as I go on through? Heightened emotion with an essence of power that gives us strength to climb our own tower. Before we forget, as we begin to fully rest, never more to try or ever to invest. Shattered to pieces, coming undone, never learning how to use the light of the sun, in a world where the beautiful always shine, while all I'm seeking is something that is mine. The laugh of the circus, that seems to be our life, surrounded constantly by clowns around. All the spinning windmills around, like an echoing sound, within our mind confined, sneaking, always seeking, for some satisfaction, desiring for a reaction. Sitting like a king in all the towers I've burned, like the words of immortals in all who have turned, hidden within the ruins for people to find, a shame then that they could ever be so blind. A shame then that they should ever be so blind. A sense of madness, guided to a breaking point, when we stop caring. Oh, if I could dance in the night, as if I were one of the drunk, caught in my own delight, like the lost ways of a punk. Give me energy, give me speed, give me everything I need, with a mindset to always enjoy the movement of time and its beauty and joy. All the things I could have done, all the songs I could have sung, whether at night or under the morning sun, like the times when we were once young. Is it all but a waste for us to move in panic and haste? Who told us we should worry, and that we should always be in a hurry? Always a balance between work and rest to prevent the burnout and be at our best. Yet, are these things ever taught to all the people now ever so distraught? We came together, but why are we fighting? When pressed together, our lips could be sighing. All these struggles through this love and war, yet what the body enjoys, it enjoys asking for more. Ah, yes, this one. This one's a good one. This one's a good one. This one's a good one. This is gooder. This is gooder. You're already good one. Able be able, but be not Cain in the midst. Cain in the midst with the rage that he hits. Downward spiral with the rage of his fits. Excuses, excuses, this man of no sorrow. Forgiveness not sought when came the morrow. God in his ways, knowing the dead's cry, heard the deflection from who held no remorse in his eye. Into exile for him to now be sent. Justice will serve for all the days that now went. Keep not to the ways with the days that he spent, learning the lesson about hate towards kin, mired in malice that should never come in. Not that we ever did learn, obsessed with greed when it became our turn. Pages and pages of history in sight, questioning morality and the meaning of right. Reason for a savior with a desire to save us all from being death's slave, to turn and tune into something new, unto the others the good we should do. Voices now heard like a beckoning call, warning others so they don't stumble and fall. X-rays for days now targeting sin, yearning for others to turn from their past, zeitgeist of the divine that now ever will last. Woo! See, these are these are surprisingly difficult when you do them well, and not like elementary level where it's like A is for apple, B is for banana, C is for na. You can get creative with the ABC or Abcedarian poems or alphabet poems. You can get super creative with these. Ways of a stage when we cry not fair, when to be on the stage we'd never dare. So why do we complain and mock when we talk the talk but can't walk the walk? You think you have answers when you want to die, lying in bed without any will to actually try. Like you're struck with depression, that old whore, who gave you a kiss and now your system cries no more. We watch a new age come when we would at least expect, due to being lulled into sleep by lies. What is there to hold when everything breaks, when we should have listened to the stakes by those who tried to help us live, only in return to have grief to give? Being focused as we... Oh. There we go. Being focused as we write, oblivious to the world in sight, when all that matters is the screen where all the written words have been. I was like, there's a typo here. Misspelled word. Energy sparkled, though I'm delayed. Energy sparked, though I'm delayed, frozen in motion with no skills to be displayed. From a moment of action in my distraction, thanks to a sense of my dopamine satisfaction. Bleh. The only race I'm having is against myself, fingers running like they're running out of health, tripping over the void of the words within my brain. But what is growth without a little pain? Despite the void, in this too I write, putting down each struggle I see within sight. There is no safe haven for things desiring me to stop, for when I find them in this too, the words will drop. Sliding in a sense of madness while embracing the other side of gladness, from the ghost watching with an echo's sight, skills of the past of which they would delight. Sound of drums like a thunderous rolling, and the howl of the wind like the werewolf growling. So let the lightning come and let the lightning strike into my system like an electric love spike. A sense of confidence before the growth of pride, above all the others whom we now denied, ignoring the humble origins of where we came, causing others to never look at us the same. Why stop here when I could keep going? Why stagnate when I could keep growing? To future heights and to future sights, where under the sun, under moonlit nights, not lights. All this yearning, and what have I earned, except a bit of patience, of which I still haven't learned. And so time keeps going, as all I do seems to stand still, with every path I take and all I try to fill. Give me speed like the flash, making every movement seem like a dash, with no need to ever go and clash, come down from a spiraling crash. One step into another, whether alone or with a brother. Some things you just gotta do, like when your body asks you to poo. What are matters of the night that I must miss for the morning light, during the times when I used to be awake and watch what in the dark time would take? Distractions come like an unseen snake, when least expected for our attention to take. Might as well give the Fae a run for their money, despite leaving out that milk and honey. Thoughts of the mind, staying up late at night, wandering around in kind before the coming daylight. The flow in which all things go, in the cycle that returns to the flow, whether in time or nature alike, whether in life and death alike. Why must I cause myself to worry, putting limitations, causing myself to hurry? For does anyone care what is done alone, with all the goals ye aim to own? I am my own worst enemy in all I say, that haunts me with guilt day after day. I am my own thief that compares, when it comes to all of my affairs. To God there is much I must lay down, although I may look at myself with a frown. It is his desire that I should love and live, for the gift of love and grace it was his to give. Icy winds of the winter frost, freezing all as payment of its cost. As many seek the warmth of heat, that yet the cold cares not of those in its seat. Embrace of nature throughout the changing seasons, the cycle repeats. With every failure we tend to grow, with the scars as the evidence to show, knowing that to go and gain, one must endure all kinds of pain. All eventually returns to its place into dust, hiding evidence of knowledge lost throughout time, as empires are built new, and everything starts again. struggles with the self as we stumble around blind, looking for our place. Chances given are not always earned, as we all have seemed to have learned that sometimes it's mercy and grace that comes to give and take their place. If I knew how to organize my time, oh, how it would be so sublime to feel a new sense of peace when the tired sensations cease. A moment of instant bliss from a honey-laced kiss, with hidden poison inside to never again be defied. My heart belongs to the night, while my body is required to wake upon the dawn of the sun's light, with another piece of my energy to take. All the steps we go and make within another moment to fake, and deceive others to what they'll see, believing this is the state that all should be. Temptation comes in with a charming smile, making its home inside and stays a while. As we let it control all that we do, it opens the door for distractions to come through. Lullaby of a storm as the rain falls, an ambient noise for sleep's beckoning call, like a soft rhythm for the mind, with its strokes that come in kind. The sound of waves during a moonlit night, watching the stars appear in sight, tracing the constellations with our hand as we lay at the edge of sea and land. Okay. This could almost be a juju. Juju? Juju. So many things to go and try, to go and laugh, to go and cry, while in the moments we went, so we can say it was a life well spent. Laughter of the forest sway as the trees beckon us away, for the creatures that dwell inside, that live in the liminal spaces they hide. The balance between the old and new, not something many know how to do, in order to truly go and create something everlasting in any state. And that is going to be volume 43. Join me again for volume 44. Until next time. Bye.